guys, welcome to episode 6 of Casattya. It's about to get mad. It's too wide, you might just need to cut it. Yeah.
That means, see how this is white?
Yeah.
That means one edge won't be white.
Yeah, that's fine because I'm gonna wood paint it on top, and then I'm gonna lime wash it. Well, that's hardwired to the mirror, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just directly, it's not a socket, is it? Is it a socket or is it?
Oh no, yeah, that'd be hardwired
to the mirror.
To the mirror.
Yeah. So it's just that switch. That
socket.
10 mil. What that vendor on the outside room?
if you've watched episode 5, you would have been able to see that I've been going through it. I've fired my builders that were working on my extension. I'm currently going through it legally with them. It's a lot. And I don't want people to feel like, oh, you can just go around firing people anyhow. It wasn't like that. There was a lot of thought that was put into it. And we had a hard deadline in our contract, which they didn't meet. And also, I also felt like there could have been, if the communication was better along the way, then there would have been things that would have been able to discuss. But where they just weren't messaging, weren't replying, were only sending one man to the job, I just felt like I work hard for my money and I will be respected. It's literally just that simple. So if you don't value me as a paying customer, then I will take my custom elsewhere. So the contractors poured wet concrete that was, and because it was so wet, they couldn't level it. And what they did is that they put these big blocks on top of my underfloor heating pipes, which almost damaged them. So I had to have it all hand chiseled off and get a new screed done. So that's been the stress of this week, but we got there. It was actually done in 2 days. It was done quite quickly. He just had to, the longest bit was him hand chipping everything on. I'm gonna show you guys some pictures, you know, and hand chipping it off so then we could put a new screed. So the screed is completely level now, whole new screed. So adhesive will go on, we can get to tiling, can get to building the kitchen out. I've had to have my gas pipe run to the island. So all of these little things that I didn't think about, that I didn't know, a few more extra expenses than, yeah, like I said, for the gas. But it's getting there, slowly, it's getting there. The great thing is that I'm working with other tradesmen on the job who were able to pick up the slack. So shouts out to my builder, Paul, who came through, who had to hand chip away the badly poured cement that those guys had done. Botch job, in my opinion. But you know, he had to hand chip it all because basically if he had not hand chipped it, it would have damaged my underfloor heating pipes, which I had just spent all that money to install. Tip number 1 that I've learned, which goes at the top of this whole renovation, is if you find a builder that you really want to work with, work to his time, guys. Wait for that builder. It's so important because, you know, you won't be in my situation there begging them to come and fix somebody else's botched job. You won't be there doing that. So be focused. So the kitchen's here. You can see all the cabinets. It comes all pre-made. So you literally need to, well, I say that, but I'm not actually going to be the one doing it. Tyrone is. But yeah, the kitchen's here. This is the space. So this is before. We're going to put the tiling down. The kitchen is going to go in behind you. So it's weird seeing it like this. I personally didn't even know that kitchen cabinets come already built. So I'm learning something new every day. AEG have done all the appliances in the house, which is amazing. And they've given me like complete creative control on like what I wanted, how it was going to be useful for my life. Again, I said with my space, I wanted everything to be like functional but have a place. So, you know, I'm Nigerian, so I needed that full fridge, I needed that full freezer compartment. So yeah, I've got a full fridge, I've got a full freezer. I've got an inbuilt coffee machine, I've got a heated plate tray. So I've really tried to have a really modern, functional space. So I'm working with Kitchen House. who are really local to me and who have designed with me a bespoke kitchen. I finally found my black units. For those of you who know me, you know I've been banging on about finding black units, not anthracite units, not pencil, which are dark grey, just to clarify, black units. By me firing those builders, there was still so much work that needed to get done. So the toilet underneath my stairs wasn't built out. My utility cupboard wasn't built out. My kitchen extension wasn't finished. So there was still work that they had to do. And the great thing about this job is that, shouts out to Tyrone and T. William Property Services, I felt like they really stepped up to the job. They took on the extra work. And with all due respect, they probably had other jobs that they had to go on to. And the great thing is that they really, you know, went above and beyond to make sure that they could step in and take on that extra work that those builders had let me down on. So yeah, Tyrone has now taken on building out the toilet underneath the stairs, the utility cupboard, and doing in the whole kitchen now in the extension. And some people might have some questions like, why didn't I get Tyrone to do it? So basically, when I negotiated my contract for my extension, that was part of the contract, that was part of my negotiations. So the confirmed scope of works for the people that were doing the extension was the extension with the kitchen, with the utility cupboard, with the toilet under the stairs. Again, I'm working with rack on the toilet, on the wall hung, on the tiling, with wicks on getting the paneling right, so we completely customize the under the sink cabinets in both of those spaces, and we've used wicks panels to completely as more of a decorative feature. So you guys, please write in the comments, let me know if you think I should paint them black or if I should leave them the quite natural wood color and varnish them just clear and leave them as is for textural purposes, or shall I paint them? I'm leaning into painting them black. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I started working with Lick, so I've chose white 05 for my bedrooms upstairs. So the two loft rooms, I've decided to go with white 05, and all my skirting boards will be white 01. So that's kind of like the whitest of the white. For skirting, woodwork, we've gone for white 01. For the walls upstairs, we've gone for white 05. For my hallway, we've gone for white 01. And for my banisters, I've gone for black banisters. I found a company by F&O who does these fireplaces, inbuilt fireplaces. So here's a reference. This is the reference that I found. It's a really cool way to divide my spaces. I was thinking, how do I make sure that there's a big differentiation between the living, dining and the kitchen? And then I stumbled across this and I was like, I have to have it. And I managed to find them. I actually found them on Instagram by F&O. And again, I'm learning so much. It has to be completely constructed from combustible, non-combustible materials. So we have fireproof concrete boards in here. It's all run by bioethanol gas. So it's not something that you can come and have a barbecue over here. It's all for aesthetics, guys, aesthetics only. I've gone for big concrete grey blocks as tiles from rack. My tiles were 60 by 60. I went for grey concrete effect tiles. Again, I felt like because I was having 4 Velux windows in the extension to let as much light in. I've got bifolds, I've got a glass apex. So there's really a lot of light coming into the space. I've also had my heating put back in now. So at this point we have some heating. The house is warm, is warming up. We're testing, all the rads are going in. We're testing all the rads. So much is happening, which leads me onto the ground floor. So big up my mate Ryan, who came highly recommended, who was able to plaster. So Ryan actually plastered the fireplace that I designed. So if you watched episode 5, you were able to see where a lot of my inspiration came from in terms of the design for the fireplace. You know, it needed some TLC, some tender loving care, a bit like what you would give your partner. So it needed some affection. So shouts out to Ryan, who came through and literally like hand did my fireplace. Micro cementing was a big deal for me because I'd seen it on Pinterest for quite a lot. It was a newer modern technique. It was also durable, it was waterproof, and I felt like it would give me the finish that I wanted. I wanted both my bathrooms to feel quite relaxing. So my main master bathroom with the bath in, I wanted that to kind of feel like an off-grey, cementy. Again, that was like done with brushed brass finishings. So that was its own mood within itself. And then my ensuite, I wanted it to have like more hammamy kind of vibe. So I went with micro cement in both.
So micro cement is a cement-based product which is polymer-based, and some people call it micro topping, micro cement, micro screeds. There's different variations of names for it. And what it is it's a product that can be used on bathrooms, walls, floors, joinery. You can basically put it on anything that has a solid surface to it. So whether it's a tabletop or whether it's a chair, possibilities are absolutely endless.
I found Honey, who owns Deco Cemento. She's amazing. Again, a woman in the trade. I wanted to support as many tradeswomen as possible. And I hadn't come across any across this whole renovation project. So to find a woman who was not only a plasterer, but was micro cementing, who had amazing case studies, came with amazing referencing, I had to work with her. I just had to work with her. But the reason why I loved working with Honey is because she was meticulous and had such strong attention to detail. And especially with the micro cement, it wasn't a process that I was familiar with, but had been following it on Pinterest for such a long time. And I would love to do more micro cementing in this house. It is quite expensive. It isn't the cheapest option. Obviously, it would have been cheaper to tile it, but I really wanted that aesthetic. And I felt like for me, just starting on the bathrooms, and hopefully this is the start of a beautiful relationship. Everybody that I've worked with, excluding my external contractors that were working on my extension, but everybody else, all my other tradesmen that I've worked with on this job, I definitely would. I'm only bigging them up because I recommend them, gone above and beyond on this job, but also taking patience with me as well. Like, this is my first renovation, so I've learned so much on this job, and I'm excited to do more. Clearly, I'm going to take a massive break before I take on another big reno project, because it is like the mental exhaustion nobody tells you about. Like, you are mentally exhausted, and it takes a lot out of you to be project managing it yourself. But for me, because of the kind of person that I am, I wanted to project manage this whole renovation because, one, I wanted to learn, and two, I wanted to be in a position where if I was going to do this again, I was curating the right team that could work on my next renovation. And I felt like that was so important. Like, everyone for me were people that I wanted to give return business to and to work with me for the long term.
Now, the color that she wanted, we created this for her. So as you can see, it's actually a really nice taupe brown, and we created this for her in order to give her a really warm zen feeling. Now, when it's wet, it's actually quite dark. When it dries out, it gets 2-3 shades a lot lighter. Whilst that can be quite confusing at times, we always make samples in order to show people the outcome and the final finish of what they're gonna get.
So things are starting to take shape, and I think the great thing about a renovation is manifesting and seeing everything come to life. Everything that you dreamed of, everything that you envisioned, all your mood boards, all your Pinterests. Pinterest is really great in the sense of that it enables you to make really good mood boards. But I feel like the danger with mood boards is that you have to be really careful that it manifests into the space that you have. Through my living room, through my hallway, living room, dining, up until the kitchen, it's all herringbone. And then from the kitchen onwards, I've got like cement tiling. I've also done the same cement tiling in the toilet underneath the stairs. And then in my utility cupboard, I've continued the herringbone all the way through. So there's nice synergy in between all of the spaces, and they kind of all interlink with each other, which was what I wanted for the space. Direct wood flooring, they're the ones that supplied me with the flooring or offered me a discount code. And the great thing is, guys, at the end of my renovation, I'll be sharing that discount code with you guys. So if anyone is planning on doing any DIY, any flooring, wait until week 8 and you'll be able to get that code and you'll be able to get small savings. Yeah, I've done carpet in the house, but I've done runners on the, I'm gonna get runners on the stairs. My 2 landings, my 2 hallways on the landings will be carpet, and my 2 bedrooms in the loft will also be carpet. So I selected spaces that would be not have as much traction, as much walkway in the 2 bedrooms. So one will be my office, one will be a spare room. Again, put carpet in there, but in my bedroom and in my dressing room, which will be quite high traffic areas, they like to say, I've done engineered wood flooring in those, and I will substitute, I'll put rugs in to make it more cozy. But I just felt like I wanted a space I could clean quite easily, and for all my dark skinned babes and anybody that wears coloured foundation, is peak out here with carpet in your dressing room, in your bedroom. The Fenty was Fentying. We're making moves, guys. Things are coming along and coming together, and whew, it's been a journey, but we're getting there. So stay tuned. I'm your girl Irene TTYA, and this is Casattya TTYA. See you on episode 7. Peace.
See, with this panelling, when I go to put on the door, could I just knock it?
Yeah, just stay close.